another exciting episode of Women In. I can't wait for you to meet my next guest, but let me tell you what you're listening to first. Women In is a podcast that celebrates women from all walks of life and the people who uplift them. Each episode features incredible voices from my world, sharing stories that spark inspiration, challenge the status quo, and reminds us that empowering women empowers everyone. This is a bold, curious, and uncensored space where disruption is welcome, forward thinking is encouraged, and change is the goal. I'm passionate about breaking down barriers, not just for us, but for the next generation. Whether our paths cross through the Kalamazoo Wings, Mindfulness Elevated, Tony Will Coaching, or you're part of my family and friends circle, these conversations matter. Let's dive in and celebrate the power of connection, growth, and the people who are shaping our world. Kailee O'Brien is my guest today. Kailee is originally from Columbus, Ohio, and the oldest of four sisters. She earned both her bachelor's and master's degree from Florida Tech in 2023, where she was also a student athlete in lacrosse, serving as a 2-year captain and earning an All-American honors twice. After graduation, Kailee began her career with the Florida Everblades, where she's now heading into her second season as an account executive. Outside of work, she enjoys Orange Theory classes, long walks with her Siberian Husky Luna, and training her cat, Pierogi?
Yes.
Pierogi. I'm like, Pierogi? Pierogi. To get used to a leash and a harness to join them on those walks. Oh, Kailee, God, hi. I'm just so glad to have you on. And I just have to start talking to you about your cat named Pierogi.
Well, my partner is from Pittsburgh, so they're very known for their pierogies. And we wanted a fun name when we were getting a kitten. And that was the name that we felt fit us. Because I grew up, my mom always made pierogies for us. So it has a good meaning, and it's a unique and funny name that we felt fit him the best because he's kind of a crazy cat. But
okay, I was gonna ask you, so you knew where I was going, like how did you, I was like, she loves pierogies.
yeah.
That is so cool. I am a big fan of cats. I love cats. I've had cats my entire life.
Yes.
And I usually have them in pairs, and by that I mean, this might sound morbid, so I can rotate them through in the sense that I've got Roxanne, who's 10, and Randy, who's 7. And then before Roxanne, I had Stodger. He was like 8 years older than her, because I need to make sure I have a cat in my sphere.
Exactly. Yeah. And that was the point for us too, is like once we moved into our new apartment here, we wanted a companion for Luna, and we just really couldn't commit to another dog. So we thought that a cat would be best, and they are best friends. It's great. It's Luna actually ended up just having surgery. She tore her ACL. Crazy. Well, her CCL, it's our version of the ACL.
Yep.
So he's been great with being like so there for her and like cuddle with her all the time. It's so cute. It like warms my heart every time I see them together.
We have a lot in common. We're going to talk about how we met in a minute, but we need to talk about the surgery. My dog Jack just had the same surgery.
No way.
Seriously, 10 days ago. When did Luna have hers?
Literally, we today was 2 weeks.
Oh my, we are
days.
We are the same hell right now.
Yes. Yeah, that surgery, it's rough. I didn't know how serious or like how crazy the what is it? I can't think of the word right now. The recovery is.
Recovery. I was just gonna say, yeah.
We just went to the vet today. She got her stitches out, and now she's feeling great, and it's good. But now she's like trying to jump on the couch. She's trying to jump on the bed. She's trying to run, and it's like we have 6 more weeks where she cannot do that.
We need to be texting each other because let me just, I'm so glad we're talking about this because I feel like this will be therapy for you and I, and if the listeners can benefit, great. But I know there's a lot of dogs that have gone through this too, but no stairs, right? As you know. And so our house is a walkout. And so we've been at the basement level. We have a ranch walkout, and Josh has been rotating, sleeping downstairs with Jack. Jackson is like his penned off area. And then we sleep, there's a day bed in there. So we alternate 2 days on, 2 days off, sleeping down there with him to make sure he's not pulling his staples out or anything like that. So
Yeah, I spent the whole we ended up going to Miami for our surgery
Hmm.
because I'm in Fort Myers right now, and my partner works for Arthrex, which is a big medical device company, and like I couldn't thank them enough for what they did. They ended up donating the products necessary for the TPLO surgery, and so
Wow.
it ended up cutting the costs in half, more than half.
I'm jealous because
And
this
you
surgery,
know, yeah, you know how expensive that surgery is. And so we ended up paying less than half than what we were originally quoted at a different vet hospital. And I am just like so incredibly grateful for that and like for the connections that my partner had. And we were able to get that surgery with a great surgeon too. He did so good with her. I mean, she's been great. Like it was very quick process too. Like she tore it, and then it was a week later is when we got the surgery. So it
oh
was
wow.
very quick and easy, and I'm glad because the vets were they were concerned, but they were like, you don't need to rush on the decision. But I'm like, we would I take her on like 2 mile walks probably every single day. So we're going from high activity, she's a very active dog, to nothing. Like, that's not good quality of life for her. So I was like, if I can get this surgery ASAP so we can get her back to where she was, that would be like, that just eased my mind a lot more too.
Yeah, we Jack tore his last October and
Hmm.
we weren't sure fully and so we and then we're of course at
Yeah,
the beginning of hockey season and
yeah,
so Josh and
that's
I went back and forth and we thought and then he went anyways, it was a long way around. We finally did it. We're so glad we did it. Uh,
hmm
and but it's been tough and I don't know about you, but the pills have been a challenge in our household getting
yeah.
Jack to take them. Is Luna better with pills or has it been hard to get her to take all of them?
She started off good. So she was on antibiotics when she
Mhm.
originally tore it. So we've been like she just finished her pills this week, and I've noticed a huge difference in her energy level. Like she feels, you can tell she feels so much better off the pills. But I think she was so tired of taking it towards the end that I ended up like I would put them in the pill pockets,
Yes.
you know those, and I would just put two in at a time, and I ended up just I had to pry her mouth open and
Oh,
just get it in there because she was just refusing. And if you know anything about a husky, they're very stubborn. So I can't just plead with her. She just won't. If she doesn't want to do something, she won't do it. So for the sake of her health, I had to end up force feeding her that. But that was like the only real struggle that we had. But that was towards the end of like when she was taking her medicine. She started off really good and like I think she knew it was making her feel better, and then I think she was over it towards the end.
oh, Jack was over it from the beginning, and because he's a husky dog, his sense of smell, you can't
Oh
trick him.
yeah.
He won't do the greenies, the pill pocket, the peanut.
Oh my gosh.
Josh and I had to tag team this stuff.
Yeah.
We have a whole thing, and we had to like give him bananas to get him to take it, and like jam the pills in his mouth, and then put the
Yep.
banana in. Or
Yeah.
we were so desperate at one point. It was Oreo cookies and the not
Yeah.
chocolate, but vanilla. I
But
mean,
the cream inside, yeah.
yeah, we were desperate. So I'm glad we can commiserate on this. We both have 6 weeks left
Oh my,
before they are fully
it's
active.
gonna be the longest 6 weeks of my life. I already know. She's already giving me trouble on week two. Like she's trying, because obviously I let her sleep on the couch and I let her sleep on the bed. So that's like she doesn't usually like use her bed. So now she's going from only using the dog beds that I have for her, and she's like, what the heck? Like this is weird. So I have like the playpen because she was never crated as a puppy. She did
Oh,
horrible with the crate. So I got a playpen, and thankfully for that, that's what I keep around her when I go to work or at night too, because I don't want her to jump on our bed in the middle of the night. So
yeah.
luckily, we just moved our apartment too, and we have an elevator in this apartment. So we have been utilizing the elevator a lot, obviously. So that has been very helpful because we're on the fourth floor of our apartment building. So I cannot imagine if we did not have an elevator because she's 70 pounds. I would not be able to carry her up and down those
Oh
stairs.
my God.
So,
Jack, we would need surgery. Jack's 80 pounds. Um, Yeah, so we had the surgery here in Kalamazoo, and like you
Hmm.
said, we're so grateful that we were able to get it done. And I would
Hmm.
encourage anyone that's listening that can relate to this, if you're in our situation, get the surgery done. Yes, it's expensive. Yay for
Yeah.
you guys. But and it's still expensive even with the actual parts of the knee being
Yeah.
donated, but it's worth it.
Hmm.
And that's kind of what you assume when you're a pet owner, that and this is just going to extend their life. So
Yeah.
it's crazy we have this in common, and now we can.
No, that's so crazy.
I know.
I'd never heard of the surgery, like TPLO surgery, or even like heard of other dogs getting it. And now that it's happened to us, you're like the second person that I've met who just had the surgery on their dog as well. It's like, it's just like crazy, like that once like something happens to you, you just see it everywhere now.
Yeah, exactly. There's science on that. Oh, anyway,
Yes.
uh,
I forget what it's called, but I know, yeah. Yeah.
it's like when you think about buying a new car, like a certain car. If you're like, oh,
Yes.
I'm gonna buy a BMW, then all you see is
Yep.
BMWs.
Yep. Yep.
So
Yeah.
tell everyone how we met. It's probably obvious in the bio, if people have listened to my podcast, but tell everyone how we came into each other's lives.
Well, it was in Vegas.
Mhm.
It was in Vegas at the ECHL league meetings. It was, I think I was on month 3 or 4, um, being with the Blades full time, and we just won the Kelly Cup, so that was great. We were all in good spirits, and going to Vegas was really fun. And then we had you hosted the Women in Business networking event at the league meetings, and that was the first ever. And obviously, my coworker and I wanted to go and meet other women in the ECHL because our front office is pretty male dominated as well. So we wanted to see other women and see what how many others there are, and also seeing what they do. And it was just good to see other women. As you guys have also seen, I've only grown up with girls in my life, so um, yeah, that's where we met there, and I got inspired. I just loved seeing everyone together and bonding over experiences and being able to learn from each other as well, especially since we are what we are the minority, especially in sports. Um, so yeah, that's where we met there. And then I invited you to my Women in Business event.
Yep.
So that was, and we had that first ever this year. So you were able to come out to a Blades game, and now it's going to become an annual thing. So
Yes, you were what I loved. So I created a committee, or I committed, well, a committee too, but I created a women in sports resource group for the ECHL, and within that is a mentor mentee program, which you're a part of. And
Mhm.
then at the summer league meetings, we kick off the mentor mentee program at a networking event. And so I did a live podcast there this year, which was
Mhm.
in Florida, in Orlando. So you didn't have to travel far, but we'll see where next year's, if we go back to Vegas or not. But you in between, we would have quarterly calls with this, as part of the resource group. And we talked about other teams that are doing game specific for women in business, women in hockey, whatever. And I said, reach out to me if you all want some help on, how to talk to the Tonys of your team. So, I'm the president or GM of the team, and then there's, it cascades on down from there. But I'm like, I'm happy to help you. And you
Mhm.
reached out to me and you said, Tony, will you help me with this? And I said, yeah. And we just went back and forth on email. And I said, here's what I recommend. And you came back with this and that. And you made it happen. And then I said, well, I can come speak too if you want me to. I
I
invited
think
myself.
yeah. Well, I didn't know it was an option. I mean, I would have asked you straight away if I knew that was an option.
Oh, no, I just said, well, and so I have family. My dad's down there, and
Mhm.
my mom happened to pass right before. So it was just kind of, I was
Yeah.
excited to get back down.
Hmm.
And you put on such a great event. So I tell this story because I say this a lot. I say, reach out to me. I'm willing to help. Like whatever. And not most women don't do that.
Hmm.
You did. And so I want to highlight that. And then you were like you're executing on what you were inspired by. And then I got to see that come to life and meet some amazing women
Hmm.
in your sphere. So I just want to give you so much credit for your first season, for really stepping into this and leading in this space. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's
It was
cool.
honestly like if it weren't for my coworkers as well, like we my coworker Katie, she was also in that phone call, and I was like, you know what, that sounds like a great night, like that sounds like something that we could do and I would love to do that. She was like, you should, like, why not, like the worst they could say is no. So um and then my other coworker Chandler, he saw that Atlanta did it and he sent it to me via LinkedIn. He was like, here's more connections, like you can see what they did, you could totally do this. And so just like getting that little push from them as well, and then like seeing like the community that you also created and being able to reach out to these other women within the ECHL, that definitely just like gave me that little boost of confidence to be able to like ask and reach out and see, because I love to see what other people are doing and then being able to spin it and make my own version of it. So that was a big thing that needed to be done, and it was in within a short time frame as well. Like I think this was in like January, February that we had the call, and then I was able to really like determine that I was doing this, and the game was in April. So it was a little shorter time frame, but I work best under pressure. So um, I was able to reach out to the Women in Business chamber for the Fort Myers chamber, and they were able to become a partner via my boss Calvin. He helped us get that connection as well, and they were able to spread the word at their events, and then got you on the panel. The panelist part was the easiest part, finding great women to be on there. I knew you guys would all be so good, and it was just such a like, that is the biggest compliment I always get. It's just like the women on the panel were great. Like they all, like everyone was so inspiring. Everyone had their different
Hmm.
point of views, and I think that I couldn't have picked better people to be on there. So I am very proud of that because everyone learned something from, and that was the biggest goal, is learning and being able to connect with other women.
Yeah.
And it ended up being like a really good crowd, and being able to have that as like a first event will hopefully bring out more people and inspire a bigger event for this upcoming season.
Absolutely. I want to touch on a couple things and ask you a question
Hmm.
on this so you can help other people. Number one, just so in case people don't haven't listened to an episode before, the ECHL is the league that the Kalamazoo Wings and the Florida Everblades and 29 other teams play in. And so, and we are professional, men's double A professional hockey. So what that
Hmm.
means is we are affiliated at the NHL and the AHL levels, and our players move up and down that system. And so, and then we're in there's four divisions. There's about eight teams in each division. The Wings were in the Central Division, and the Everblades are in the Southern Division. And the Everblades won the Kelly Cup, which is equivalent. It's like our version of the Stanley Cup, 3 years in a row, minus this past season. This was the first season you got knocked out in
Hmm.
3 years. So the Everblades, and they're in Estero, Florida, or in Fort Myers, and I have family there. My dad winters down there, and so I've gone to games, and it's just it's really cool. Like professional hockey in Florida, we have three teams in the league that are in Florida, so it's a
Hmm.
big thing. Anyways, I
Yeah.
digress. I just want to explain that to people who are like,
Oh
"What are you
yeah.
talking about?" Um,
Yeah.
so when you reached out to me and you were like, Tony, will you help me so I can pitch this? I want to talk about how you went about pitching it. And by that, I mean, what tips would you give someone that's like, wow, Kailee took, got that she was inspired, she got this idea, she had a tight timeline, but she had to get approval. So what tips would you give someone that allowed you to get a yes?
So what works best for me, it might not work best for everyone, is I like to write every idea that comes in my mind on, like on a Google Doc or on paper. So what I did, and I utilized ChatGPT, I will say, and I asked, I was like, what do I need in order to make this a successful event. And it literally broke everything down for me step by step. And I wrote that all down and I was like, okay, I need to get X, Y, and Z done. So first thing is get the panelists. So I reached out and then I wrote my goals on what I wanted people to come out of. So like I said, I wanted people to learn and be able to connect and get inspired, because the biggest struggle for me when I came out of college was finding a job. Mm-hmm. Like I didn't end up being with the Blades until almost 8 months after I graduated college. So it almost took me a year to find a full-time position. And I know that's a struggle with everyone. Mm-hmm. I know that's a big struggle now, finding a position directly outside of college. So I want to give that opportunity, because where I was in Florida, where I went to school, it's not really sports populated. And I always knew that I wanted to be in sports. So if we have the opportunity as a professional hockey team to have an event to give opportunity to young women, because we do have Florida Gulf Coast University down the street from us. So I really was honing in on them as well, to come out and give the student athletes there the opportunity to meet other women and potentially start networking, so then they can get jobs when they're coming out of college, or just having that connections, because connections are everything. Mm-hmm. Another thing, let's see, it's just following that step-by-step guide. That's just how I was just writing everything down, being able to communicate with people, not being afraid to ask questions. So I remember what I did with you is I just wrote everything that I wanted done on a Google Doc, and I had you look over it. I'm like, does this look realistic? A, and B, like, is there anything you would add? Is there anything you would take away? Something that you don't think is as important as something else? So those were like, just getting advice from anyone was great as well.
Yeah, and you went a different route than what we do in Kalamazoo, and I want to point this out. And I say this because there's as they say, there's different ways to fold a towel, and at the end it's all folded, so who cares? Yep. But so in Kalamazoo, we do an actual game night called Empower. And so our whole hockey game is built around it. What you did was a women in business panel pre-game, and it was I don't know if that game was even themed or if it was just a game.
That was the week of our Pink in the Rink night. So we did the game on Wednesday. We had the Women in Business night that Wednesday. And then our Pink in the Rink night was going to be that Saturday. So radiology regional always comes in, and that's where they have like their breast cancer awareness and our Pink night. So I thought that would be the best fit for the Women in Business night, and to make it on a night where it's not already sold out, because it was one of our last regular season games. And so Wednesday night was more calm for us to have that panel hosted, and to get more people into the building as well.
Yeah, and so again, there's different strategies for all of us that are working in sports together. There's no right or wrong way to do it, and you can start it this way, and maybe it grows into a game thing, maybe not. But I loved the inspiration and then making it happen and executing, because that's where I see a lot of people fall down. So let me go to the part where you actually had to go ask to do this. So who did you have to get approval from? Did you get approval from Craig or from someone else?
No, not from Craig, actually. I kind of just said in one of our meetings that we were doing it. But it was mainly from Chris and from Calvin. So I talked directly through Calvin, and I was like, do you think we can do this before a game? And I also had to talk to Colette, who was on the panel, because she's our president of Food and Bev, and where we had the meeting is where we can have pre-game parties. And so we were taking that space. So I had to get approval from her as well. And she was obviously on board because she spoke at it as well. And then talking to Chris about it to see if there's anything that needed to be done promo-wise for it. And then we had his wife on the panel as well, Renee Palin.
Both great. They're great. They're both phenomenal.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And then Calvin really helped me as well. He was all on board for it, and seeing how excited I was for it, he was the one that gave me the idea to work with the Women in Business panel of the Fort Myers Chamber. And then we were able to make it into a fundraiser as well for them. So each of the tickets that were purchased, they were discounted down to only $20. And that ticket was to the event and to the game. And then $5 from each of those tickets went to the Women in Business Committee. And that goes to their scholarship fund. So they provide that to other women in our community. And I felt like that was also a really good thing to come out of it as well, is that the money was given to the Women in Business Committee, and they were able to use that for good. So it all ended up working out, and seeing how much of a success it was, and like everyone was very satisfied and wanting to do it again this following season, really gave that motivation to to everyone up above that it's going to happen again.
Yeah, that is well, and that's the sign of a great event when
Mm-hmm.
it's coming back for year two,
Mm-hmm.
and there's a support. And I want to point out you have a lot of support when you had to go get approvals, mainly from the men in your office.
Yep.
And of course, Colette, which I've known Colette a long time because of
Mm-hmm.
my years with the team or
Mm-hmm.
in the league. And so you have a lot of men that are supporting this. And
Yeah.
I like to talk about that because my podcast isn't about excluding anyone. It's
Mm-hmm.
about inclusivity, and the word men is in women, and all my mentors were men. And
Yeah.
so I wanted to, change the space a little bit and say I need to give more mentoring to women in
Mm-hmm.
addition to men. So I love that you have that support, and you
Yeah.
felt that supported where there wasn't this fear of pitching the idea and them
Yeah.
saying no, because you are, I mean, what I'm hearing is there wasn't any of that, and that's why you felt so inspired.
Exactly. There was that hesitation when first coming in, because it is my first year, and pitching that, especially at such a busy time. It was like in the middle of season. There was that hesitation there, but finding that like everyone was okay with it and knew that I could handle it just fed me more and made me more confident, and made me more excited too. Just seeing like how many people ended up coming out and knowing like that this actually worked, and like just seeing it in the end was just so great, and like how proud everyone was. It was great. I couldn't have asked for like a better team. I couldn't ask for better coworkers at that moment. So
Yeah.
it was like they definitely helped feed me and gave me that confidence that I definitely needed.
Well, and that's something else I want to point out. This is your first full-time job in sports,
Mm-hmm.
your first season.
Mm-hmm.
So that, I mean, you were very courageous.
Mm-hmm.
And again, your team was really, that's where teamwork really matters, and the synergy of the team and the trust within the team. Um,
Yeah.
uh, like it's very special in that front office, and
Yeah.
great. It sounds like a really good culture to work in.
Yeah. It was, yeah, it couldn't have gone any better. So I wouldn't have asked for different people to be there. It was great.
Good for you. Um, so I want to shift gears a little bit and talk about. So you mentioned your four sisters in your bio, and you're working in sports, and so I would talk to me about what it's like to go from an all-girl household, and now you're in a male-dominated industry, and I'm assuming that your sisters are part of who you are, the woman you are before
Oh yeah.
today. So let's talk a little bit about that, and as we dive into that, like who else are the other women that have helped you become who you are at this point?
I mean, I have three younger sisters. I'm the oldest of four, so being the oldest is a job in itself.
Hmm.
I got that motherly instinct in me to always take care of my sisters, but also give them that tough skin.
Hmm. Hmm.
um, so I Madigan is this my first sister. She it lives at home, and then Marin, she's gonna be a sophomore at Ohio University, and so she runs cross country and track there. And then my youngest sister, can't believe it, but she just started her freshman year at Coastal Carolina. So that was tough for her to start college because it just is so surreal to me. But always having that role of being the oldest sister has always put like kind of like that spotlight on me. Is like something my mom always said is just like your sisters watch what you're doing at all times. Like you have to be a good role model, you have to be a good representation. And I would like I always appreciated that because it always made me think about what I was doing before I would do it, because it's like, is this going to be a good reflection of myself, but also is this going to be a good reflection to my sisters? So I felt like that was a great mindset that was put into me, to always think about others before I think about myself as well, but also being able to prioritize myself and make myself feel confident and happy. And I think it's always helped me have that maternal instinct, especially within the office as well. I feel like, being with the other men in the office, it's just like that different mindset that they don't think of at all times. I feel like I bring in that different point of view that sometimes men don't think about. So I think it definitely helps. I think it's definitely teaching me patience, because I've never really had patience. So working in an office full of men definitely taught me that. But it's also like taught me to loosen up and like not be so tense all the time and just like overthinking everything. So just doing things instead of like holding back has definitely been a lesson to learn too. It's just a bigger adjustment, you know?
Yeah. Well, and you moved well, you moved for college, right?
I did, yes.
Yeah.
So I've pretty much been in Florida since 2018, but I did go home right after college and lived at home for 8 months before I ended up just moving
Yeah.
right back to Florida.
Yeah. There's a couple things I want to touch on here with these questions. No, well, this is a fun one. You're from Ohio. Are you a Buckeye?
I'm a Buckeye fan,
You
yes.
are. Okay. I'm just
Yes.
checking. My husband's from Ohio, and
Yep.
earlier today I had my
Yep.
Buckeye sweatshirt on. Now, I'm born and raised here in Michigan, so you know
Hmm.
that I'm probably pissing some people off, but
Yep.
I don't care. Like my
That's
husband,
illegal.
I know, but I'm a rebel girl, you know. So, okay. I had to ask that. Let's talk about overthinking for a minute, because you mentioned that in passing, but I think I see my kids suffer from this, and you're in my kids' age range. And so I want to ask, like, how do you work on quieting that overthinking? Because you obviously catch yourself in it. And
Hmm.
so has that and if this is too personal, just tell me to shut up, but um, like led to anxiety or anything like that? Because I see this generation struggle with this.
Yeah. Um, let's see. It's definitely, the older I've gotten and seeing it in my siblings has made me like realize how much I do it as well. So then I realize like, okay, I need to take a step back and then maybe show my sisters and be able to give my sisters the advice on how to not overthink and how to not overreact or have that anxiety over things, and then be able to relate to them as well. Be like, I would do that as well.
Hmm.
Like, I would think of that as well. And this is how I was able to get out of it. And then, let's see, what else? I like to do a lot of things for myself, and now that I'm not able to take Luna on walks, the walks would really help as well. Just like clear my mind, and just like give myself that space is really crucial as well. And my partner does a really good job of like understanding when I do need my space. Um, so that definitely helps. It's just like knowing when to take care of yourself as well. Is like creating that boundary, and boundaries are huge. And I feel like that plays a big role in my overthinking, is if I'm taking on too much and not setting on boundaries and not being able to say no, makes me overthink on like how I'm doing, overthink everything that's going on instead of being able to take a step back and look at things at one step at a time.
Yeah. So let me ask you this. When you go into a front office, it's your first year in a full-time job, you've been looking for 8 months. I mean, holy cow, you're probably like exasperated and exhausted from and
Yeah.
you get this job, and you're working with majority of men. did you catch yourself overthinking all of that and having it rattle your self-confidence and your self-esteem and
Oh yeah.
yeah.
Because especially too is like I was an intern with the Everblades before, but in marketing, and so then going into a full time position in sales where I didn't exactly have the most sales experience before, it was just like I gotta show everyone that I'm here to do work and I'm not trying to mess around. Like I want to be successful. So like putting on that front that like I mean business kind of thing coming into the office and then being able to eventually loosen up and I going into this position too, like I kept telling myself like don't be afraid to ask questions. Like my worst fear is failure, which like as an athlete it's like um worst fear is like losing kind of thing. So I felt like if I didn't do good enough I was failing. So that was the big mindset that was going in. So I was like, I don't want to be afraid to ask questions. I want to be confident. I'm starting a new chapter. I'm starting a new plate over. This is a new life, moving back to Florida, but a different, completely different part. So I really wanted to build like a new me, but like a more mature and adult me as well. So being able to have better communication um, was crucial.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought up the sales piece because here's the thing. And if someone is in sports and or wants to be in sports and listening to this, there are way more people that want to work in sports than there are jobs. It's number one.
Mm-hmm.
And number two, if you want to get your foot in the door, you should have a willingness to sell. I don't care if you
Mm-hmm.
don't think you're a salesperson. Newsflash, everyone's always selling.
Yep.
And I know Kaylee's heard me talk about this,
Yeah.
but we're always selling, regardless if we think we're salespeople or not. What we're saying is we don't like to hear no, and it's scary to be in sales, but it
Mm-hmm.
really isn't. And your earning power is so much more in sales than it is on the creative side.
Mm-hmm.
So I like to point that out. So were you, when you did your internship in marketing, which marketing is different sales than
Mm-hmm.
say, like knocking on doors per se.
Mm-hmm.
But did you really see yourself more on the marketing side and then you're like, okay, I guess I'll try the sales thing?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's essentially how it went. Is like my mind was set on marketing. I thought that was my thing. I thought that that was what I was born to do is do social media, creativity, all that kind of stuff. And not really open it like once I was able to open my mind and expand myself into like sales and not having that negative like car salesman connotation towards it of like being like almost shady per se, like I like coming into it too. It's just like with the blades and like them being so successful as well, like it is a pretty easy sell. And just like honestly, if you love to talk, you will do great in sales. Like I love talking to people and like getting to know people, and that's all you need to know. And that's all people down here especially need to know, and then they'll love you and then you'll get your regulars kind of aspect. And like and if you've worked in a restaurant and customer service or anything like that, it'll just come so easily. It came so easily to me rather than once I did change my mindset and like not having that negative view towards sales, I was like, you know what, it's really not what I thought it was. Like it's not too bad, like as and being able to work to what like for my earnings definitely helped as well, like being able to make that commission and setting goals for yourself, like that's like I love doing that. I love setting goals and being able to achieve it or smash it, like sign me up. So I love that aspect of it as well,
Yeah.
and just being able to like set a goal for myself and be like, you got to make this and you got to kill it, like
Yep. Well, and that's the athlete in you because when you have a goal
yep.
and you crush it, and there's achiever in there and all this stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And, I've taught breakout sessions before and all this stuff about sales isn't a dirty word. And
Exactly.
it isn't. And here, let's break it down. Sports is sexy. People are not like,
Mm-hmm.
oh, don't you dare come to me. People love sports.
Yeah.
So we're not selling checking accounts over here.
Yeah.
So, and that's where I cut
Exactly.
my teeth in my career is selling checking accounts
Yeah.
back in the 90s. And
Mm-hmm.
I didn't think of it as sales though, because I'm like, well, everyone needs a checking account. Like,
Yeah.
so it is. It's a mindset. And I
Mm-hmm.
love the honesty here about this because I've hired more people that are like, I want to be in game ops. And I'm like, no.
Yeah.
I said, no, you don't. You want get over here. And then they're like, thank you, Tony. And I'm like,
Yeah.
I can tell when someone's gonna make
Yeah.
a great salesperson.
Yeah.
So that's really cool to hear, and that you're having success. I want to touch on so you're my first. I've had a ton of athletes on here, but you're the first female lacrosse player I've had.
Yeah.
So I mean that's pretty cool. How did you get into the sport? And there's no adult league lacrosse, is there? So
There is professional lacrosse, and there's not adult leagues around here, unfortunately. There was always one in Columbus that I would sign up for, but my mom forced me to play. She is from Massachusetts originally, so it was more popular. It's a very East Coast sport,
okay.
Maryland. Um, Maryland's the hotbed for lacrosse, and so she she wanted to sign me up in first grade. I said no. I was so focused on soccer and softball, those kind of sports. And then she was just like, I know you'll like it. I'm going to sign you up. So in second grade, she signed me up, and I've been in love ever since. Like, once I picked up that lacrosse stick and I was like actually good and like could catch and throw, I was like, wait, this is so fun. And I've just been playing it literally ever since. And from that push from my mom, I'll have to give it to her, because she had no idea what lacrosse was, but she knew that it was something that I would like. And I remember she even bought like Lacrosse is for Dummies book,
Yeah.
and being able to look at what it is. And yeah.
Did you play in college too?
Hmm.
And were you a
Yes.
scholarship athlete?
Yes.
Okay. So was it a full ride?
It was not. It was a partial scholarship because we were Division two. So how the scholarships work is they only get X amount of full scholarships and then X amount of money after that. So they tend to split up those full scholarships so then they can spread the money more wider.
And this is where you were captain 2 times
Hmm.
in college. Okay.
Yeah. So we had our COVID year.
Mm.
So I was able to get that back because I was a sophomore when COVID happened. So I was able to get my fifth year, and I was able to also get my master's.
Yeah, our youngest graduated high school in the COVID year, and then
Hmm.
played college volleyball
Yeah.
freshman year. Anyway, she played college volleyball, but it really screwed a lot of things up for all of
Hmm.
us. But um,
Yeah.
yeah, lacrosse is a sport I don't know a lot about.
Hmm.
Now I know men that have played it. So is it? Do you see, I guess, because it's such an East Coast sport, so do you see a little bit less of it down in Florida?
It's
Um,
growing.
is
It's
it growing?
growing down here, for sure. It's definitely gotten a lot more bigger over the years, and I love that. I'm so happy for that because it wasn't nearly as popular like when I was playing it than it is today. And I mean, we have colleges like UF, and then FSU is starting a college program.
Awesome.
And I mean, UF was in the Final Four last year, and then like the Elite Eight the year before that. So they're killing it as a program. And then the conference that I was in, we were Division two. So the conference that I was in was all Florida teams,
Hmm.
and we're like anyone from our conference was always like there was at least 5 teams from our conference that was in the top 10.
Wow.
So it was a very competitive conference, and they were all Florida teams, so it's definitely growing, and I love that. It makes me so happy to see the sport that I love like grow, and so other people can have the opportunity to love it as well, because it is just such a fun sport to play. Even though it's completely opposite of men's lacrosse, it's just like men's lacrosse is more power
Hmm.
and women's lacrosse is more finesse, and I just love that part of it. I love how fun you can make it.
That's interesting. That's
Hmm.
really interesting. And I'm drawing a correlation here. You're the oldest, and you were voted captain of your team, which is quite an honor as a leader. And so there's a lot of leadership qualities in you. I can tell. Yeah, that's
I think it comes from being the oldest sister. I think it definitely correlates for sure.
100%, 100%. Okay, let's talk about this. Do you like to read or listen to podcasts? And if so, what are you reading or listening to?
I am not reading anything right now. I am a TV binger by heart.
Well, what are you
I
watching?
I'm watching Law and Order right
Okay.
now, SVU, and then I did watch Love Island this summer. But Law and Order is really good. I've always loved like crime shows.
Same. I love
Yeah.
true crime though.
Yes, I
Uh,
do love. My mom. Oh my goodness. She's like what she does true crime podcasts, and my mom will fall asleep to her voice. Like that's just like how soothing her voice. I want to say
is it Big
Kendall Ray.
Mad? What is it?
Kendall Ray.
Oh, I haven't listened to it. I listen to Big Mad True Crime. I listen to a bunch of
Okay.
stuff, but I only do
Yeah.
that for like pleasure, although that sounds kind of psychotic, but
Like she just says like her voice is so soothing, and like when she speaks about like any like story or anything, it's just and I've listened to her, and she just has such a great voice when she reads everything. You don't even think like of how gruesome the stories are, because like she's just like speaks in such a monotone voice, and it's just like so soothing.
that's interesting. Well, it goes to show you don't have to be reading or listening to anything. I mean, I like
Yeah.
the TV binging answer, one, because it's authentic to you, and I like what you're watching. So, all right. So, one other question, and we kind of, well, I want to talk about this one. What have you
Okay.
changed your mind about recently?
um For real life, I would say what I've changed my mind about is taking my dog to the dog park.
Okay.
Um,
Like you used, like you don't like taking them now, or you are
no,
open to it?
that's where she ended up tearing her ACL, and so now I just have a negative connotation to it. And another thing that I've actually been like realistically like changing my thought process of is reaching out more. I have such a hard time to reach out to friends and family.
Mhm.
And so like really sitting down and making that time has definitely helped like rekindle some friendships or just make them stronger, because sometimes I just get caught up in my life here that I'm just so tired by the end of the day. I just don't want to be on my phone, or if I'm on my phone, I'm just scrolling on social media, or if I'm just watching TV. So, especially after the love and support that we've gotten after Luna's surgery, it really made me realize my community and how important they are to me. And so just like keeping them close and like seeing who like the real friends are and being able to keep in touch with them and know that like we need to keep them close and keep in contact with them.
Absolutely. Uh,
Yeah.
I it does make a huge difference having
Hmm.
family and friends and
Yeah.
like I love how you're calling yourself out on it. You're like, I want to be better about this. So here's
Yeah.
some accountability now because it's recorded.
Yep. Exactly. It's something I verbally even said to my partner too. I was like, I need to reach out to more people. Like, you have great friends that you talk to every day. I need to get back into that, because like I just get so caught up in the in my life, or now with Luna, it's just like taking care of her. So it's just like it takes 2 seconds to send a text message saying hey, how are you doing, and just making that extra effort it helps other people as much as it helps yourself.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Kaylee, it's been a pleasure to talk with you. This is one of the main
Yeah.
reasons I love doing this podcast. A is to lift people up, but B is it because I get to have a conversation one on one and get to
Hmm.
know people even better who are in my life. Or sometimes I interview people I haven't even met, so which is
Yeah.
cool too. So this is just another way to for me to hold myself accountable because
Yeah.
otherwise I'm like you. I get tired and I make excuses.
Yeah.
And I want to be better about that. So thank you for
Hmm.
being a part of that,
Of
and
course.
coming and seeking my counsel and not inviting me, well, allowing me to come and speak when I invite myself. And I
I'll
just,
have a day. Everyone loved you.
it was fun. They're like, you came all the way from Michigan for this? I'm like, yeah. So
They're like,
who
please
doesn't
come
want to come
back.
to Florida in April? I do. So
Yeah, right.
if people want to connect with you, Kaylee, where can they find you?
um, any social platform. So Instagram is just first and last name, and then LinkedIn. I'm very active on LinkedIn, and Yeah, mainly Instagram and then TikTok as well. I am showing Luna's TPLO surgery journey. So if anyone ever has um, any questions about what is necessary for TPLO surgery, what you need, what to prepare for, I have made videos for that. So that has definitely helped me hold myself accountable, and then helping other people as well, making sure that she recovers properly. And so far, she's doing good.
Yep.
So,
Luna and Jack, they're doing great.
yep, exactly. We love that.
Well, if you all are looking to connect with me, I'm not hard to find. The hockey side of my life is at kwings.com. Anything related to my TEDx, the book coming out in Q1, my coaching outside of hockey in lifestyle coaching and professional development coaching, and then Empower Her 2026 conference is at tonywill.com. I am on social media, but I only do 3 platforms. That's all I can handle. Instagram at I'm Tony Will, Facebook and LinkedIn at Tony Lentini Will. And until next time.